Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to go back to using our hundreds board. Now we had two videos before where we did different activities with the hundreds board. And today we're going to just review a little bit and then you're going to do the remaining activities. So I'm going to show you some things that we already talked about. Remember on our hundreds board, we talked about different things. For example, if I start on a number and I move to the right, I'm adding 1. If I start on a number and I move to my left, I'm subtracting 1. If I start on a number and I move down vertically, what am I doing? I'm adding 10. If I start on a number and I move up vertically, what am I doing? I'm subtracting 10. We also talked about even and odd numbers. Remember, for a number to be even, it has to be able to have a partner. If it's an odd number, that would mean that not everyone would have a partner. Remember, we talked about when you get to the 2-digit numbers, you're focusing on the number in the ones place to determine whether it's odd or even. Now, I challenged you last time to make some predictions and do some investigating, and I'm going to let you do that in just a minute. What I want you to do is get your 100 board, get a piece of scrap paper and a pencil, and I want you to do at least 4 addition problems where you add 2 even numbers each time. So you're going to do one addition problem with any 2 even numbers, another addition problem with any 2 even numbers, another addition problem with any 2 even numbers, and one more addition problem with any 2 even numbers. Just pick them randomly. Make sure they're even numbers. So I'm going to have you pause the video. I want you to do that, and I'm going to work too. And then I want you to come back, and we'll talk about what you found out. Well, what did you find out? Here's my work. My first problem was 46 plus 12, and I decomposed it and came up with 58. I kind of noticed that 46 was an even number, 12 was an even number, 58 also was an even number. 88 plus 14, my sum was 102, also an even number. 36 plus 58, my sum was 94, also an even number. 16 plus 32, 48. I kind of have a theory that if I add 2 even numbers together, I'm going to get an even number. What do you think? Did you find that out also? I wonder if that's the same for odd numbers. One way to find out, pause the video, do your work, and I'll do my work. See you in a minute. Well, was it what you thought? I did my work, and lo and behold, if I added 2 odd numbers, the answer was also even. Now, if you really want to challenge yourself, do a little research and find out why that is. So, using your hundreds board today, you're going to do some activities that we didn't do in the first 2 videos. So there's 3 different activities coming up, and each one is a little bit different. So before each activity, I'll let you know what you need and what supplies you need and how many people you need to play the game. I hope you have a great time playing it. It was fun investigating with you. I'm going to show you how to play the game called Keep Picking. This is on your activity sheet under 100 board activities on page 2. So in Keep Picking, you're going to need a few materials. You're going to need your hundreds board. Now you can just set it off to the side in case you need it to reference it, or you might not need it. Your blank hundreds board goes in the center of the play area, and you need your cut up tiles, and this can be played with 2 to 4 players. So I've set it up for 2 players. It says this is a number order game for 2 to 4 players. Each player randomly selects 10 number tiles and places them face up on a flat surface in front of the player. The step that I would add to this direction is that you, as each player puts their tiles down, put them in sequential or numerical order. It's going to make it a lot easier when you play the game. Players then take turns placing their tiles in sequence on the blank side of the 100 board, either horizontally or vertically. Each player may place as many tiles as possible each turn by either adding to numbers already on the board or beginning a new sequence. Players must have 2 or more numbers to start a sequence. Players who cannot place a tile from among the ones they have must draw additional tiles from the bag until a play can be made. The first player to use all of his or her tiles is the winner. So we're going to have this player be player number 1. Now remember, you have to have 2 or more tiles to start a sequence. So as player 1 looks at their numbers, they notice that they have 2 numbers in sequence. So they're going to start play. Now this is blank. You can either challenge yourself and not look at your 100 board with the numbers on it, or you can use what you know about a 100 board. Remember, this starts with 10, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So if player 1 is trying to place 52 and 53, they know this is 50, so this is 51, 52. These are kind of hard to pick up, so you got to be careful. 53. So that player has taken their turn. Then it's on to the next player. Player 2, do you have a play where you can play off of what player 1 played? Or can you add or start a new sequence? Remember, you have to have 2 numbers to start a sequence. So let's see what player 2 can do. Player 2 doesn't have any 2 numbers. Oh, yes, they do. They have a 55 and a 56. I almost didn't see that upside down. So I know this is 53, 54, 55, 56. Your turn, player 1. Do you have any 2 numbers that are in a sequence? Player 2 has 86 and 87. So if I know these are 50s, this is 60, 70. Here's my 80s. So 86 would be, if that's 56, I know this is 86 because we've talked about that in our previous video. This is 87. They also have 89, so they can do a run of 3, a sequence of 3. Player 1's doing a great job. Let's go back to player 2. They have 24, 29, 38, 48. That triggers something in my head. And 58. 96, 97. So let's do the 2 that are side by side, 96 and 97. And I know from my hundreds board that underneath you're adding 10, so 86, this must be 96, and this is 97. Back to you, player 1. Player 1 has a 10, a 19, a 23, a 31, and a 71. Well, I don't have any 2 numbers to start a new sequence. I don't really see anything that would be a horizontal or vertical sequence. I can't play on anything that's already on there, so the rules said I had to pick again. So if they pick, you got a 72. That helps because I had a 71. So now I'm going to go back to my board, and I'm going to put down and use what I know, 71, 72. Then it would be the next player's turn. This continues until someone uses all of their numbers. Sounds like a fun game. I hope you enjoy. This game is called Tens and Ones Bingo. It's on the second page of your sheet titled 100 Board Activities. In Tens and Ones Bingo, you're going to need your transparent counters that came in your packet. You're going to need your 100 board cut up into number tiles. And you're going to need your 100 board. In this game, it's just like bingo. One player is chosen as the caller. The others cover the number called with a transparent counter. The caller places the numeral tiles 1 to 100 in a bag or a bowl. Drawing one at a time, the caller calls out the numbers as tens and ones. For example, 43 would be called 4 tens and 3 ones. The first student to complete, or when you complete, a row horizontally or vertically is the winner. So let's see what this would look like. I'm going to play the caller. And the first number I picked, I'm going to read this as 8 tens and 6 ones. If I'm playing and I'm listening to that, I have to think in my head 8 tens and 6 ones is 86. So I'm going to cover 86. Next one. 110. Not 110, but 110. Next one. The caller would say 6 tens and 9 ones. 6 tens and 9 ones. 8 tens and 8 ones. Nowhere near a bingo yet. 5 tens and 8 ones. 6 tens and 5 ones. Getting a couple in that row. 8 tens and 4 ones. 5 tens and 1 1. You would continue playing. Now, in your packet, you only have about 10 counters. You can see that you're going to need a lot more than that. So there's a couple of things you can do. I put my hundreds board in just one of the sheet protectors. And when you do that, you can write on it with a dry erase marker. So you could do that. Or you could use your pennies that come in your packet, and you could use those too. Or you can use anything you have in your house that's small enough to fit in that square, like a bean or anything that would work. Another challenge that you might want to try with this board is to play it using your blank hundreds board. That'll make it a little bit more challenging. So for example, if the caller picks this number and the caller says 5 tens and 3 ones, remember 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53. And you can play that way. That would make it a little bit more challenging. Have fun playing tens and 1 bingo, and good luck. The final game on your 100 board activity sheet is called Let's Get 100. For this game, you're going to need a partner, and you're going to need your 100 board. You're going to need 2 different color types of counters or markers. So I just used the colored transparent counters, and one is green and one is yellow. If you have your 100 board in a pocket sleeve and you have dry erase markers, you would need 2 different dry erase markers. And you need the die that came in your activity kit. So the directions for this game say this is a game for 2 players. Players start on the number 1 on the hundreds board and take turns rolling the 1 to 6 die. The number rolled indicates the number of spaces to move forward. Before moving, the player must state the addition sentence that represents their move. For example, on a 1, roll 4. If you rolled a 4, you would say 1 plus 4 equals 5. On 22, if you roll a 3, you would say 22 plus 3 equals 25. And then you move to that space. The first player to land on or pass 100 is the winner. So let's see what this would look like. First player rolls, they get a 6. They're on 1. So they have to state this equation first. So 1 plus 6 equals 7. So this player moves to 7. Next roll. Oh, they also got a 6. So 1 plus 6 equals 7. 3. 7 plus 3 equals 10. 5. 7 plus 5 equals 12. 4. 10 plus 4 equals 14. 3. 12 plus 3 equals 15. 5. 14 plus 5 equals 19. 6. 15 plus 6, I might have to count on, and that's okay. 15 plus 6 equals 21. So the game continues until somebody reaches or passes 100, and then they're the winner. Now, if you want to do something a little different and play a second round, you can start off on 100, and you guessed it, you're going to subtract and go to 1. So if player 1 rolls a 2, you're going to say 100 minus 2 equals 98. 100 minus 2 equals 98. That happened last time. 98 minus 5. Now, if you're not sure, you have your hundreds board, so count backwards. So 98 minus 5 is 93. 98 minus 2 is 96. And then you would continue the game all the way until somebody reaches 100. So that's 2 different ways to play Let's Get 100. Hope you have fun.